America pulls out.
It's immoral. Our drawdown was irresponsible and immoral.
This U.S. veteran of Afghanistan protesting outside the White House.
Today I'm embarrassed to be an American because we pretended to be allies with these people and then we just left lamb.
At the airport in Kabul, confusion and terror, as CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
The chaos isn't just inside the airport and on the tarmac. Outside, angry crowds gathered. A U.S. official says American troops will spend today focused on securing the airport, and additional forces will continue to flow in. Flights were temporarily halted at one point.
The Taliban says it's committed to creating, quote, an inclusive Islamic state in Afghanistan. Roxana Sabiri is there.
8-year-old Sharifa told us she wasn't afraid when she lost her leg in a Taliban attack on her village.
Does anything scare you?
Not being allowed back to school, she said, adding she dreams of becoming a doctor.
And it's being reported girls in some Taliban-held areas have already stopped attending school. Haiti, the search continues for any survivors from this weekend's earthquake.
Communication is very, very difficult. The roads are difficult to navigate. But what we understand is upwards of 1,300 people have been killed and many, many thousands more injured. We did speak to the Haitian ambassador, and he told us that that number was creeping up.
CBS's Vladimir Dutier in Port-au-Prince. Back to school in Indiana will mean attending class in a mask. School Superintendent Yvonne Stokes.
I know this will not make everyone. My goal to protect our students and staff and keep our schools open and running.
The NIH is warning that new COVID cases could once again reach 200,000 a day as the Delta variant accelerates through unvaccinated populations. A coming storm has millions hunkering down along the Gulf Coast.
Tropical storm Fred is predicted to make landfall near hurricane strength later today near Panama City on the Florida Panhandle. The storm will eventually dump flooding rain across much of the south, southeast, and mid-Atlantic into midweek. Flood watches are posted for parts of Florida, Alabama, and Georgia.
CBS's Jim Krasula. For millions in the American West, the problem's too little water.
Officials are expected to declare a water shortage from the Colorado River. Water levels at the two largest reservoirs on the river, Lake Mead and Lake Powell, have been falling for years. The river serves 40 million people in 7 states, as well as parts of Mexico.
CBS's Wendy Gillette reporting. This is CBS News.
This is Kevin Frazier from Entertainment Tonight. Treat yourself to an all-new season of E.T. starting Monday, September 13th. Go to etonline.com for where to watch.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced law in mid-Michigan for over 3 decades. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned about estate planning, asset nursing home costs, and how to save the family farm. Would you like to understand more about these topics? I'm offering 3 free e-booklets about estate planning, farm succession planning, and Medicaid planning.
To get your free e-booklet, go to jerryrifelawyer.com to download any or all of the e-booklets or call 989-790-1461 to request a copy.
My e-booklet, Understanding Medicaid, describes Medicaid, Medicare, and the difference between them. If estate planning is confusing to you, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning Basics, and you'll find that it is a helpful guide for your future planning. If you have a farming option for future generations, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning for Farmers.
If you want any of these free e-booklets, go to jerryrifelawyer.com or call 989-790-1461 to request your free copy.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom is WSGW News.
Well, cloudy skies and 60 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Consumers Energy says it will save more than 18,000 feet of gas line piping if approved by the Bay City Commission for a property purchase on the city's east side. Here's WSGW's Rick Antonio.
As part of a line replacement project looking to update nearly 3 miles of vintage 8-inch and 10-inch high-pressure mains throughout the city, Consumers is looking to purchase 5 vacant lot properties near the corner of North Water Street and Woodside Avenue. On this site, 2,200 feet of pipe on Borton Avenue and a new regulator station will allow placing an additional 18,000 feet of high-pressure lines. The properties in question were acquired by the city between 1990 and 1992 during an attempt to realign Woodside in a joint partnership with Essexville. The plan fell through due to financial concerns by Essexville. Appraisal staff have determined the 5 lots will appropriately sell for a combined $20,000 after the city had paid $90,000 nearly 30 years ago. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
The city of Saginaw will host the upcoming Neighborhood Association Action Group meeting live under the pavilion at Bliss Park tomorrow at noon. The meeting will allow residents from area neighborhood groups to discuss local neighborhood issues, solve problems, and reconnect. The meeting will be held outside, so participants are reminded to bring a chair. Lunch will be provided by Woody's Hot Dogs. Topics for discussion include updates from local law enforcement and the fire department, Saginaw's Best Kept Yard program, an update on the city's master plan, and a presentation from the Saginaw Basin Land Conservancy. For more information, call 989-759-1403. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
So, what do you think?
You nailed the custom cabinets. It makes the space.
I'm in love with my kitchen again.
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design makes your dream spaces a reality with custom cabinetry and a variety of countertop options like Corian, granite, and quartz, offering both in-store and in-home personalized consultation. We're with you from inspiration to installation. Your dream space is just a phone call away. PremierKitchenandBathGallery.com.
Perfect. Hey, golfers, this is Dan Pohl, and I know your golf games aren't always perfect, and that's okay. Golf experience, then come see us here at the Polecat. Don't wait. Go to polecat.net or give the Pro Shop a call. Remember, if your golf games can't be perfect, your experience can.
Perfect. WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Former Macomb County Prosecutor Eric Smith will be back in court today as he faces embezzlement charges. That's for a preliminary hearing, which began last Friday. Smith is accused of taking $600,000 from drug and forfeiture funds to pay for work at his home and to cover other personal expenses. In March 2020, after he was charged, in January, he pleaded guilty to obstruction in a separate scheme. He's not been sentenced, but could face up to 21 months in prison for that crime. There's a lot of unknown for families preparing to send their children back into the classroom this fall after more than a year of remote learning during the pandemic. Elizabeth Biermoji, Dean of the University of Michigan School of Education, says teachers and parents have been talking about some of the hurdles expected this fall.
Everybody's worried about, some of the fears their children are expressing about friends. I don't know how to play with children my own age. I've been, in a family pod.
Moji says school routines will have to be relearned while also making sure children feel safe and secure. There was a fire on the roof of an apartment building in downtown Grand Rapids Sunday. The Ferguson apartments in the Hartside neighborhood were evacuated. No one was injured. Grand Rapids Fire Department Captain Paul Mason says the fire started in either a heating, ventilation, air conditioning unit or solar panels on the roof. He says the roof and apartments on the 5th and 6th floors suffered extensive damage. 83 people on those floors are being helped by the American Red Cross. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It is 9:10. I'm Mike Procha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies today for the beginning of the work week with a high temperature in the lower 80s. Partly cloudy skies with a few isolated rain showers for tonight. It's a low in the lower 60s. A mix of clouds and sun for your Tuesday. More isolated showers and storms during the afternoon and a high of 83 degrees. Partly cloudy skies Tuesday night. It's a low of 66. Isolated rain showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday for the middle part of the week with high temperatures in the mid 80s. With more rainy conditions expected for your Wednesday night, it's a low in the upper 60s. I'm staff meteorologist Jake Pozazinski with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, 60.
The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another week of the Art Lewis Show this Monday morning. Nice to have you with us. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to chat with Representative Amos O'Neal. We'll have open phones too. And McLaren Bay and the Carmonas Cancer Center, the subject of focus this morning. But we start out, we had a couple of weeks ago talked about the beginning of a campaign. I think we're now at the end of the campaign. And that campaign has to do with the Rescue Ministries of MidMichigan. And in the studio, where I can see him this morning on video, is Dan Streeter. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Am I correct that the summer match program has ended now?
We're winding down this.
Winding down. Okay.
Yes. So if you remember at the beginning of the campaign, we had hoped to have finished up last Friday. But one of the unique aspects of this is that we also combine it with a post office mailing at the same time, and that got delayed, and so it pushed everything 1 week.
So we have an extra week of
Exactly.
match possibilities.
Exactly. So this is the last week, but things have been progressing well. I had a random thought as we came onto the air, and I saw myself on the. I did, yes. And I saw myself on the screen. I was like, how difficult it's got to be for you to your entire life working radio, and now you got to worry about what you look like, and you can't wear the same clothes 2 days in a row.
Doesn't bother me. Besides, you have no idea what I'm wearing below the shirt. Oh my goodness, yeah, I know it is a different world, but I did television for a while, so it's no big deal.
That's right.
Hey,
Yes.
this is it. I can't change the way I look. You take it or leave it.
Yes.
You, on the other hand.
Well, fortunately, I don't get paid for my personality or my looks. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. But you do get paid to run a fabulous nonprofit Rescue Ministries. And how are you doing in the campaign? You had a $70,000 match going in.
Correct. And so, for maybe some of the listeners who have been on vacation and haven't gotten to hear about this opportunity, this is our summer match, and it's really turned into a very impactful campaign that we just brainstorming several years ago with you and WSG. And this is one of the times of the year where we see our numbers spike. And true to form, once again, our occupancy increased during the time of this campaign. And so just to give you a little bit of perspective, our average total on any given night last year was 162 guests, and that's between City Rescue Mission of Saginaw and Good Samaritan Rescue Mission in Bay City. Campaign. The night we started this campaign, we had 155 people that were staying with us, needing emergency shelter services, a place to be able to lay their head, and because they had no place to call home. And so during the time of this campaign, last night we had 198 people that stayed with us. So we are above what our normal average is, and we've even seen the increase. And it's just one of these rare phenomenons that happen. We have some reasons why we think it is. Part of it is that people, they'll couch surf, and what that means is that they'll try to stay with one family member to try to avoid becoming homeless. And so they try to stay there, but then things break down in the relationships. And because it's not cold outside, then people are more likely to say, I'm sorry, you can't stay here anymore, because they don't, their conscience would have let them let the person leave and be out in the elements.
You made a very interesting comment, and you said that they couch it to try and not become homeless. Aren't they already homeless? They got a couch, but they don't have a home. Yeah,
correct. They a lot of times individuals, before they show up at the door of the mission, all they've heard is rejection. Maybe they had apartment, but then for a series of reasons they lost that apartment. It may be because a medical situation cropped up and they couldn't afford the payments. It could be because they lost a job, and so they come to us with a myriad of reasons, but every one of them have experienced rejection. They've experienced no. And so we're trying to, as soon as they come through the door, to restore that help and let them know that this community cares for them. And we do it by the meals that we're serving, by the way that they're treated, and by helping to give them meaningful outcomes and connect them to resources that maybe they didn't realize was available for them. And then to get them into sustainability in a place that they can continue to keep for the rest of their lives. So those are our goals, and this campaign is helping to accomplish those goals at a time when our funds are the least. People go on vacation, and in the month of August is our lowest giving month, and so that's what launched this campaign, the campaign, and some very loyal donors of the ministry, wanting to see us continue to sustain great work, have committed $70,000, and they're ready to match dollar for dollar every donation that's made through these couple weeks. And so we see progress, but we haven't hit the final goal yet. We're getting close. I'm teasing that as much as I can.
I hear you. I hear you. I don't think we've ever missed in the past, but I don't think you've ever come in with 70,000 either. That was a pretty good number to get started, wasn't it?
Well, that's part of the success breeds success. And so people have really appreciate this campaign, but then also, like I said, it makes so much common sense, and it's so impactful. This is one of the most impactful months that you can make a difference, because it is usually our least fundraising month of the year. So to this point, in our $70,000 goal, we have raised $48,123. So that's amazing. We're right on track and hoping to wrap things up by this Friday. So
how do
chance
people
to be able to make those last gifts?
How do they do that?
Yep. So you can go online. The easiest way is to go online. And I say that the easiest way, it also depends on your technology savvy, whether or not you can pull that off. But most people, it's a couple clicks. You go to our webpage, r3monline.org, and you'll see right there the little logo for the summer match. You hit that, and it will take you right straight to where you can process your donation. You can also mail in a check, and in the memo section, just put summer match and send that to the mission. Or you can stop by, make a donation, or call in and give your bank account or credit card information over the phone at 989-752-6051. All those ways are very easy to do so. And while you're at our website, then you can see some of the stories of life change. And more importantly, while you're sitting there looking at the link in the top corner, there's also a 4-star logo for Charity Navigator. We have attained their 4-star status now for 4 years in a row, which means that we are transparent, that we are using the funds as intended, and not a lot of charities get that 4-star rating. It's something that we work very hard to make sure that when every dollar is donated, that it stays here locally, and that it's used the way that it was intended.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break, and we'll come back. We are talking to Dan Streeter, Executive Director of the Rescue Ministries of MidMichigan. And I'm going to introduce you to someone brand new to our program. And I'm often asked, who do I do business with? And today I am going to talk insurance. And more specifically, I'm going to tell you about my insurance agent, Tom Soreski. Now, I've been an Allstate customer since 1974. And not only am I happy with the company and always have been the way they've treated me and when I've had a claim, how responsive they were, but more important is my relationship with my agent, because that's where it all begins. And Tom and his staff are knowledgeable and good listeners. They always provide me with the advice and the plans I need to fit my situation. And they can do exactly the same thing for you. They can protect your home, auto, motorcycle, RV, boat, motorhome, rental property, even your classic car. In addition, Tom can provide specialty insurance for event coverage like weddings, and he can provide pet insurance for your cat or your dog. Tom Sereski Agency also serves the business community with all states' supplemental health benefits. Do as I do. And I'm not just reading words here. I'm telling you, this is what I do. Shop locally with a business you trust, and I trust Tom Sereski for all my insurance needs. Visit his agency on Tittabawassee Road, just west of the railroad tracks in Saginaw Township, or call Tom at 989-497-0300. 497-0300. Be sure and tell him that Art Lewis sent you. You're in good hands with Allstate, and you're in even better hands with the Sereski Agency. Tom Sereski, my personal insurance agent. All right, we'll take a break. Be back more. Dan Streeter ahead here on WSGW.
Small business owners know cutting costs without cutting quality is tough. How do you trim expenses without hurting your business? Easy. Get Spectrum Business. Call 888-489-2212. Switch to Spectrum Business and you can get the best internet and phone services for half of what you're paying today. Cutting costs can be easy when you get Spectrum Business. Just call 888-482. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. Doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance bloke stuck and dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Weaker than expected news on China's economy and the situation in Afghanistan are creating uncertainty for investors. Tesla's autopilot system is being investigated by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The probe is into its automated driving system after reports that it has trouble spotting parked. It looks like there's been another massive hacking of customer information. T-Mobile confirms it is investigating claims that a hacker is attempting to sell the personal data of more than 100 million customers. And Walgreens has launched a credit card program, My Walgreens, issued by Synchrony Bank. The card offers rewards for making healthy choices when you use it. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselva, invested in you.
Summer's in full swing, and we have the coolest new shirts for the warm weather at Untuck It, including performance shirts styles to beat the heat, and our comfortable polos. Untucked shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they're just the thing to look and feel cool in the summer heat. And untucked shirts are perfect as we transition back to the things that we've been missing, like dinner with friends, reuniting with family, and vacations too. When the heat is on, the #1 shirt to keep you cool is Untucked. Use code COOL for 20% off your first purchase at untucked.com or over 80 Untucked stores.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUEY.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. But like any air filter, the more clogged up it gets, the less it works. So how do you clean your nose? I'm Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation. The neti pot's been around thousands of years. But I did invent Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, healthier without drugs. Navage has over 70,000 online reviews averaging 4.7 stars because it works and it's easy to use. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Now available with eucalyptus for a spa-like experience. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show. Hey, look on the bright side. We saved 16 cents on our barbecue this year. That's an extra hot dog for me. That's not even a bite.
Markley Van Camp and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show for this Monday morning. Talking to Dan Streeter from the Rescue Ministries of MidMichigan. I want to take you someplace I don't think we ever talked about it this way before. That'll wake you up. We don't have to go far in this world to see help wanted signs. They are everywhere. Everybody is looking for labor. I would imagine you might be too, for all I know. The folks that come to you, are they employable now, or do you find that most of them need help in getting back on track to become employable?
So you show up on our doorstep. We really see a myriad of reasons as to why they're homeless and why they're there. Some, though, are very capable. It maybe sometimes is an addiction issue that has crept into their life. And so as they're dealing with the addiction issues while they're with us, then they can usually turn around things pretty quickly vocationally. But they just need that continued support structure, so then that way things don't unravel for them. Some are those that maybe are a little bit difficult to employ, and they need some hand-holding through the process. And so we've got vocational program in place and helping to deal with things like what it takes to maintain a job, and doing the mock interviews and having a good resume. So we're helping to knock down some of those barriers that would make it difficult for them, but then also providing the support services after they get the job as well. And they continue to stay with us in order to be able to get the money collected that they need to afford that first month's rent and to be able to work out the transportation issues. And so we're trying to make sure that there is a good, stable foundation before that happens. A lot of our guests do need a little bit of help to be able to be competitive in the job market.
How many of the folks that come to your doorstep, I mean, we all have mental issues of one kind or another. I don't know anybody that doesn't. How many of them have mental health issues that are an actual impediment to them leading a normal life as we perceive a normal life?
So when we take a look at the hard statistics, that it's somewhere around 30 to 35% at any given time are diagnosed with mental health issues. Take a look at superficial statistics. In other words, when you do a survey of some of our guests, and when you ask them where they're at in their mental health, then that number goes up to about 60%, where they would identify that they have a mental health issue. some really intriguing numbers across the state, and also they play true with our shelter, is that about 44% of those who show up to receive services at the mission have a disability of some type, a legitimate disability in which they're receiving disability payments. And so a lot of times it's, medical, and sometimes, there's that physical, but out of that group of those, that 44%, then usually about 67% of those, their disability is because of a mental impairment.
Mm-hmm.
So it really has become a large number of the guests that we serve that have that mental instability. And that's why our partnerships with local mental health services are so critical, because at any given moment, a person can go into crisis and having to work, get the care that they need. We found, some stories that we have where we've identified somebody that is in mental health crisis, and we get them transported to the hospital for those services, and then they really don't want to get checked in for it because of the illness. They can self-determine, and then they present to the medical personnel there, and within that 15 minutes, 30 minutes of assessment, they present totally fine. And then we've had a couple situations where they've beat our staff back because they didn't present well. So we've worked it out with the mental health services to make sure that we stay there and that we explain to the physicians there of what we've been experiencing, what we've seen. So then that way they fully understand the cares that's needed for individuals. So it's partnerships like that to make sure that we're caring for people in a meaningful way.
I've got to believe depression is a big part of it. And I'll tell you why I say that. I mean, as I sit here and you sit there, we both have wonderful wives. We have a great family. Our life is pretty well-rounded, and we go about our business every day. If that were to change and I'd find myself on the street for any reason, I would be depressed. And I mean depressed. I have to believe that depression is a big part of this.
It definitely is. And, self-awareness, self-esteem goes a lot side by side. And a part of that also is the difference between, you and I have grown up in the middle class. And so we've had ingrained in us about thinking about the future and making plans and all of those types of steps, and that you can sustain a difficulty one day because we've got the future to look forward to as well. Spent their entire life struggling in low income. All they've known is day-to-day survival. It's only about what I can do today. So sometimes some of the decisions that they make doesn't make sense to you and I. Why would you go and spend $100 on a pair of tennis shoes for your kid when you haven't paid for your rent and it was for your kid's birthday? Well, it's because their thinking says, I've got to take care of today because I only know what's going to happen today. And so I can't worry about what's going to happen 3 or 4 weeks from now because I'm not promised that I'm going to have any of these totally different mindset that happens. And so when people come to us, not only are we trying to help restore health and their personal value, but then we're also trying to help them to see the importance of planning for more than just one day and to look towards the future.
It's a very interesting comment because none of us know what tomorrow's going to bring. I have not the vaguest clue. I mean, I know where I'm supposed to be tomorrow.
Right.
I know what I'm supposed to do tomorrow. The good Lord hasn't given me a guarantee that I'm going to be there to do it. You don't know what tomorrow brings, do you?
That is very true, but then we're also instructed by the Lord to make sure that we're good stewards of what we have, and go to the ant and consider her ways. We need to store and we need to plan and we need to look towards it. We need to live and invest as much as we can into today. So both sides do kind of both those that struggle in low income and those that are middle income. You plan for the future, but you do need to live for today and make sure that you take every advantage that you can.
All right, hang on. I'm going to drag you through another segment because I got something else I wanted. We're talking to Dan Streeter from the Rescue Ministries of MidMichigan. We'll be back with Dan momentarily here on the Art Lewis Show. Let me take a moment to tell you about Thalen Honda, because I'm sure you've heard and seen the car commercials. You know, hey, we got cars on the way. Come by now and you can take it when it comes in, whenever that is. Well, I say to you, why wait? Thalen Honda has a supply of new vehicles on the ground right now, ready for delivery during Honda's summer sales event. That's right. You buy today and you take it home today. You don't have to wait until it eventually comes in. And to sweeten the pot, there's 0% financing on select 2021 and 22 models. Terms and conditions do apply. In addition, the 2021 Honda CR-V Passport and Odyssey were named Best Car for the Money by U.S. News and World Report. And the 2021 Honda models received the IIHS Top Safety Rating. 6 of those models. Thalen Honda has new and used vehicles in stock, ready for sale, ready for delivery right now, and more new vehicles arriving every week. Stop into Thalen Honda, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, and look over their inventory. Or you can do the same thing online at thinkthalen.com. Test drive the vehicle of your choice. Sit down with a Thalen Honda representative to see how easy it is to make it yours, and then drive it home. Why wait? The Thalen family in their 3rd generation of ownership, serving your automotive needs for 44 years. We will be back with more after these notes.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Pine River Golf Club. You are going to get 2 rounds of 18 for only $35. It's normally $70. You are getting it half off. The Pine River Golf Club is under new ownership, and it has a beautiful 18-hole course with some pretty amazing pizza. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, buy me insurance, blokes. Touching. Barmy, Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
Parents, do you want your child's shoes to fit perfectly? Then you need to get your kids Skechers Stretch Fit shoes, because Skechers Stretch Fit shoes are so comfortable and so stretchy, they easily slip on and fit almost like a sock. Your child is constantly moving and constantly growing, so they need a shoe that moves with them. And Skechers Stretch Fit's soft, stretchable material contours to their busy feet. It's a perfect fit. And not only do they fit like a dream, they perform like one too. Skechers Stretch Fit keeps your child's feet comfortable all day long. With Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam and a breathable Stretch Fit knit, your child will be cool and comfy whether playing, studying, or just hanging out. Plus, you'll love just how durable they are. Designed to take everything your child can throw at them. And if they get dirty, it's that easy. Give your kids perfect comfort that adjusts to them with Skechers Stretch Fit shoes. Find them at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever kids' shoes are sold.
This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. We're chatting with Dan Streeter from the Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. They have extended their summer match campaign by a week, so you still have time to donate, and we'll tell you how to do that again. But, Dan, I have to ask, historically, and particularly now during this COVID crisis, government has funneled money to individuals. And right now, more and more and more of it. Are we creating a government-dependent class? And are you eventually going to see these people at your doorstep?
Well, that's a loaded question because
I know
some of those individuals had already become dependent. And there was even a time here in the state of Michigan where, people could be on public assistance and became fully dependent on. And then the previous administration governor put into place that a person could only receive 4 years maximum of public assistance in their lifetime. And that really started to change the dynamics tremendously for us and helping to do more long-term work, vocationally driven, and to help get people back on their feet because they couldn't rely on government. What is absolutely staggering to see is how many dollars are coming into communities now that have been earmarked because of COVID or excused because. So there is phenomenal amounts of money until September 30th of 2022 that is still slated to come in. Perfect example would be eviction diversion programs and trying to help keep people from being removed from their homes and they haven't paid rent. And if I got the numbers right, Saginaw County itself is receiving over $10 million just to help in keeping from people getting evicted. And
I have to say, the other startling side of that number is how much of it hasn't been handed out.
Correct. And so there's just unprecedented amount of seeing this kind of money come in, and eventually it is going to have to stop because unless the government's just going to keep on printing more and more money all the time. But what happened? So just prior to COVID, literally the month prior to when COVID started, February of 2020, we were serving over 310 people. In the two ministries, we had over 310 people. It was the highest number that we had ever served in the history of the organization through our emergency shelter service. And that just showed to me how many people are living right on the verge of poverty right here in this region. And we have huge issues. We have huge issues of infrastructure, affordable housing, and mental health issues. And there are a bunch of needy people in our region. And so COVID right now and all these dollars, I believe, are just propping up the issue because they're not resolving it. There's still people that are sitting in the same state with the exact same lack of skills and the exact same emotional issues. Now all COVID has done is just continued to push the issue down for months. And then as soon as these dollars dry up, then there's going to be, I believe, just as much of an impact upon our services and need to be there. So every day we're fighting the battle to help turn around. I hope that it doesn't happen that way, but I really believe next fall we're going to see an even more critical demand for our emergency shelter services.
Any of that money earmarked for organizations like yours? Or would you take it if they offered it?
So the Continuum of Care, the Saginaw County Continuum of Care, we're a partner of that. And so United Way, Youth Protective Services, Underground Railroad, Restoration Community Outreach, Mustard Seed, examples of the organizations that are helping to provide emergency shelter services. There are several hundred dollars that are coming, and maybe up to a couple million. And so where our minds are going right now is as we work together to try to find long-term solutions. And so we're looking at affordable permanent housing is where our mind is really going, because we see this as a one-time opportunity where these public funds are coming, and we're going to try to take advantage of it and leverage up and get a even stronger safety net. And that's where really some of the critical need is in communities all across the country. There is such a lack of affordable housing. But then to just rely that people are going to sustain it, not a good plan either. There needs to be that support service that comes along to continue to do home visits to see how they're doing, and just to help be there to guide them through these situations. And so that's, as a group here in Saginaw and Bay County, that's where we're brainstorming in long-term solutions. And hopefully, if we can get some of those in place between now and next fall of 22, then maybe we can avert some of that crisis that I believe is really heading our way.
It's an interesting comment you made. Do you, as an organization, do you have your guests get to the point where they can leave the mission and find that affordable housing? Maybe they get a job, they're out on their own. Do you follow up with them?
We do follow up with them. And in fact, that's our new program that we've launched called Impact Designs. We started that February 1st. And that was also something we identified as a big gap within the community. People would move into housing, if they finally did all this work and they move into the home, but they didn't have a bed for their kids. They didn't have the dishes. And so it almost became depressing, anticlimactic to have a place of your own.
Move into empty four walls. Yeah,
exactly. So now we are helping with donated furnishings, and we put together a design and we measure what the size of the apartment is. And then our planners then figure out all the color schemes. They've talked with our guests what they need. And then we do a home makeover. We come in with volunteers and we totally outfit the apartment. And then just like what ABC used to do with that home makeover show, then you do the big reveal for our guest. And if you want to see a couple examples of the before and afters, go to our website, our Facebook page, Rescue Ministries, and you will see a couple of the transformations that took place. It really is exciting. But along with that program, our guests, if they'll sign on to a year of monthly home visits, and that is our plan to go back and to see how things are going and help sustain.
You set them up, though. You're not the landlord, right?
We're not the landlord, but we help them with a housing placement specialist. We'll help take them to apartments and to appointments and help guide them through that whole lease signing process. And so from start to finish, from the time that they come into the shelter and to the classes that we teach them, to the assistance that we provide them, and then the furnishings at the end, from start to finish, we're helping to try to make sure that they can have that sustainable housing. Don't have to ever experience homelessness again.
Well, I've successfully dragged you along this far. I'm going to drag you along till the end, so stick around. Got to take a break, and we'll be right back with Dan Streeter from the Rescue Ministries of MidMichigan.
Your day starts before the sun rises. Once your boots hit the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvest. An honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller at 989-823-8493.
When you're ready to buy something, the first thing you do is go online. But buying a home is different. You've got loan applications, pre-approved. The list goes on. That's where a Realtor comes in. Realtors have expertise and local knowledge to give you a competitive edge that a search bar just can't. And in today's market, an edge is what you need. So when you're ready to buy a home, the first thing to do is make sure you have an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Check it out, Limu, a roadside carnival.
Step right up, folks. Test your strength. Come see the fire-breathing baby.
Let's fan out and optimizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Look, an emu wearing sunglasses.
Limu, You're famous. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at Discover. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
News coverage.
The bipartisan infrastructure bill reached the finish line. We need to do much more.
News.
In the schools, the decision for the parent, everybody should wear a mask.
Using children as pawns?
Florida and Texas alone have accounted for nearly 40% of new hospitalizations.
News.
Governor Cuomo should do the right thing.
Is if I step aside what we're seeing right now in Afghanistan, they've got to fight for themselves.
President Biden bears responsibility, but President Trump bears significant responsibility.
News on WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show on this Monday morning, talking to Dan Streeter, the Executive Director of the Rescue Ministries of MidMichigan. You've taken on, again, a new role in serving the needs of youth, and you now have a residency for youth. How is that doing?
So that was one of those things that our board in strategic planning back in 2018, our board and our senior managers identified as a critical need in Bay County. There was no provider. There had been a previous one, but they went out of business in 2015. So as we were taking a look at what we believed it was that God wanted us to do in being good stewards of the ministry, but then also taking a look at what was the community need, we became compelled that we needed to work to open up a youth shelter. And so it took us 2 years to work on doing it. COVID helped stretch that out a little bit and taught us a little bit of patience in the process too. But on January 26th of this year, we attained our license, and the facility was totally finished, and we were able to open up the doors to help kids who are aged 12 to 17 to be able to have a place to stay and to help give them those services that are so critical, especially at that young age. And so we've impacted about 20 kids so far that have come and stayed in the shelter. The numbers are a touch lower than we're licensed for 10 beds, and we've had some high nights of 4 kids staying with us. One of the main reasons why the numbers haven't been as high, and this is true all across the state, kids not being in school to engage with educators. And so educators can help, their teachers can see that there's a problem and then engage with them and find out what's going on at home and say, hey, there's for you. You don't have to continue to live in that difficulty, and then refer them to receive services. And so those referrals haven't been happening because kids haven't been in school. It's been all remote. So we're helping to get the word out. And then once classes start to open up, then we're going to make sure that we're also there in the schools and helping to let kids know about what's going on.
All right, Dan, we actually have a caller. Terry in Birch Run wants to chat. So let's get him on this morning. Terry, you're on with Dan Streeter. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, Terry. What's your question?
I'm a great baseball fan, sports fan, and I like to say, I hope the Tiger make the baseball playoff.
Okay, Terry. Thank you. We'll take note of that. But we're talking about something different today, but we appreciate it. Terry thinks the Tigers should make the playoffs. I do too.
I hope so too.
I hope so too. Last question before we get back to how to donate. What role does God play in your life?
Well, he's the reason why I'm here day in, day out. Now, for 29 years in having done this, I believe very firmly that he called both my wife and I here to be involved in this work. And in fact, some thought that Dad was the one that was instrumental in me coming. And to tell you the truth, when Dad asked me, I said, no, I'm not interested. And
Dad has connections.
Yeah, I had strong aspirations to be in the educational field instead, and did that for 3 years. And then it was an undeniable call that we needed to come. And so, and we've never looked back. It's definitely been something that we need to do, but that's also what motivates us every day. We see the value that each person has in their life and helping to try to help them to come to know the Lord and to be able to attain what, a life that is with peace and a life that, eternal life as well that Christ provides. But then to be able to help see our brother in need and to be able to help provide that care for them in that most difficult time in their life, to me, that's the most rewarding thing. And to see it, there's over 1,800 people that came through the doors of the ministry last year that we were able to help have that change in life. And just real quick, what's really been cool to be involved for 29 years now, to see people coming back. We now have a lady that just started working in our kitchen and in Saginaw. And through the interview process, we found out that she was a resident back when she was a kid. We had, and now here she is, an adult many years later, and she's coming back and says, I want to give back, and I want to give back vocationally and do the same thing for others. To me, that's rewarding.
Yeah. All right, so let's end where we started with the match program. You've extended it a week. And how do people donate?
So we have great success so far. We've raised $48,000 so far, but we're still $12,000 away from the goal. And so you can help us to be able to get to, I'm sorry, not 12, 22,000. I got to do my math correct. We're 22,000 away from the goal that can easily be attained this week. If you'll consider making a gift, it's going to get matched dollar for dollar. Local donors of the ministry. You can go to r3monline.org. You can call the mission 989-752-6051, or you can write a check and just put Summer Match on it. All of those ways are acceptable, and you can have a huge impact in providing care for people. Over 198 people last night needed a place to stay, and you can help provide that care.
Dan, thanks a lot for hanging around with us this morning. We appreciate it, as always.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. Take care now. Dan Streeter is the Executive Director of the Rescue Ministries of MidMichigan. We thank him for his time this morning. We're going to take our last break, come back and close out this hour, tell you what's ahead, all here on WSGW.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance blokes touching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, Liberty. Napa know-how.
At Napa, get a $10 gift card when you buy a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 motor oil for $27.99. A deal so rich, they'll call you an oil tycoon. Yep, with great oil for $27.99 and $10 back. All you'll need is a monocle. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, does not include state local taxes or recycling fees. Advertised sales price may not be available in some states. Rebate restrictions apply. Offer ends 8/31/21.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Oi, barmy insurance blokes touching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call clickgrainger.com. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, heading up toward the top of the hour, and we'll have news from CBS, the local report, bringing you up to date on everything happening in the area. Next hour, we will start the hour with State Representative Amos O'Neal checking in with us. And then we will move on to open phones. We will have some open phone time next hour. All ahead right after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Vicki Barker in London. As Afghanistan falls to the Taliban, the Pentagon sends more U.S. troops to aid an at a very disorderly airport in the capital, Kabul. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told CBS this morning more evacuation flights will be needed once troops can secure the airport.
We intend to carry out those evacuation flights after securing the airport over the coming days.
Those flights will include Afghans and American citizens who didn't get out in time.
I would say that in the end, we want to be moving thousands of people in total. That includes a significant number of Americans.
Asked if the U.S. was unprepared.
Those forces who are at the airport right now did not appear out of nowhere. President Biden pre-positioned them weeks ago in theater to be able to fly them in the event that Kabul fell very quickly.
To forming, quote, an inclusive Islamic government in Afghanistan. CBS's Roxana Sabiri is there.
One Afghan who worked for the now former government told us last night the Taliban came knocking on his door looking for him. He called us terrified, begging for help.
Families of the U.S. troops deployed have their own fears at Fort Bragg.
I know lots of people who have been activated. Anybody who lives in this community will be affected or touched by people going overseas.
Haiti, the death toll from the weekend quake approaching 1,300. More aid is arriving. The advocacy group World Food Kitchen now flying supplies in.
Our team is already on the ground right now cooking, but this is going to enable us to really scale up our operation.
But now Haiti's threatened by tropical depression Grace. CBS's Vladimir Duthier reports major floods and landslides are possible.
The country has been deforested. When you deforest a country like Haiti, which is primarily mountainous, means that when there are tropical storms, when there are periods of heavy rain, the rain just washes over everything.
More California schools back in session with most kids and teachers wearing masks, as CBS's Wendy Gillette reports.
We want to make sure that our students are protected.
Superintendent Chris Hurst in Contra Costa County, California, sums up the feelings of all educators as students start to head back into classrooms. Teachers and students will be wearing masks most of the time in West Contra Costa, though teachers do get a mask break.
High winds and dry conditions across the region mean new blazes are highly likely. Wall Street, the Dow shed more than 200 points at the open. At the moment, it is down 244 points. The NASDAQ down 115. Is CBS News.
With Indeed Instant Match, just sponsor a post and immediately receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Small business owners know cutting costs without cutting quality is tough. How do you trim expenses without hurting your business? Easy. Get Spectrum Business. Call 888-489-2212. Switch to Spectrum Business and you can get the best internet and phone services for half of what you're paying today. Cutting costs can be easy when you get Spectrum Business. Just call 888-489-2212. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
I wasn't able to sleep in my own bed because of my wife. I had to move out to the couch, out to the recliner, out to my son's bunk bed. That is until she started using Inspire, a sleep apnea treatment that works inside her body with just the click of a remote.
Get back to sleeping in your own bed with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
So, what do you think?
You nailed the custom cabinets.
And the countertop is perfect.
It makes the space.
I'm in love with my kitchen again.
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design makes your dream spaces a reality with custom cabinetry and a variety of countertop options like Corian, granite, and quartz, offering both in-store and in-home personalized consultation. We're with you from inspiration to installation. Your dream space is just a phone call away. Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6, leaving the light on for families back on the road. Kids in suitcases, jammed in the back, earbuds tangled in the dog, heading to see Aunt Jasmine and her rock garden. Admit it, you missed this. And Motel 6 has been missing you. With our clean, comfortable rooms and great low rates, we've been giving families on the move the perfect roadside rest for almost as long as Aunt Jasmine's been putting rocks in her yard. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSG.
Partly cloudy skies and 66 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchak. As of Sunday night, Consumers Energy announced more than 98% of all electric customers now have power after 370,000 lost power from last week's thunderstorms. As of mid-morning, Consumers is working on restoring power to the remaining 26,000 customers in the Jackson, Hillsdale, and Benton Harbor areas. Guy Packard, Consumers Energy Vice President for Electric Operations, says we are very pleased with the progress made given the extent of the damage. With much of the state wrapped up, Consumers is consolidating counties in the final push for the storm. Thousands of workers, including contractors from 7 states, have worked tirelessly since late Tuesday with a goal to restore power to all homes and businesses that lost it. The storm was one of the 10 most significant in company history, with more than 7,000 wires down and over 200 poles damaged across the state. In many areas, repairs included upgraded poles, conductors, and cross arms made to withstand higher wind speeds and greater tree damage. The Bridgeport Historical Village is hosting a couple of events this month. On August 24th, there will be a concert in the park featuring Eva Stone performing classic oldies. Attendees are period-style costumes. The concerts in the park are free for everyone. On August 26th, there will be a Kids' Day at the Village Flea Market. Families can sell toys, clothing, or books their kids have outgrown while shopping for bargains. Organizers ask parents remain with their children during the events. The Bridgeport Historical Village is open Tuesday through Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m. and is located at 6190 Dixie Highway, next door to the Bridgeport Fire Department. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. A heads up for those in northern Michigan, utility company ITC will be checking high voltage transmission towers and lines by helicopter over the next few days. The utility says the choppers will be flying lower than usual, and there's no cause for concern. Teams will be flying over northern Michigan now through August 20th, then western Michigan until the 27th, and Metro Detroit on the 30th. The aerial patrols are part of the company's routine maintenance. A West Michigan sheriff's deputy has died after being shot during a car chase. Michigan News Network's Zach Clark has this.
Kalamazoo County Deputy Ryan Proxmire died at the hospital yesterday. Deputies encountered the suspect Saturday evening at a gas station in Galesburg after he was reportedly involved in a chase earlier in the day. The suspect accused of pointing a gun at the deputies and getting into a vehicle and then driving away. The sheriff's office says the gunman shot Proxmire during the chase. The suspect is accused of getting out of his car and firing shots. Other deputies returned fire, killing him. In a statement, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said, quote, Deputy Proxmire served his community with honor and dignity, remembered for his courage, end quote. Zach Clark, the Michigan News Network.
A West Michigan woman has died after jumping off a boat near Saugatuck on Saturday evening and never resurfacing. The Allegan County Sheriff's Department says the body of 51-year-old Mary Claire Dice Gruters of Granville was found Sunday morning. She was not wearing a life jacket. An investigation is continuing into that case. There have been slight increases in the number of cases of the coronavirus and hospitalizations related to the virus in Michigan over the past. There were an average of just over 1,500 cases reported Thursday and Friday. Hospitalizations are up to about 890. There were also 29 deaths reported, putting Michigan over 20,000 deaths since the pandemic started more than a year and a half ago. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high around 80 degrees. Winds out of the east around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions with a low around 61. By Tuesday, mostly sunny skies. Wednesday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Blend of clouds and sunshine develops a high around 85. Thursday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy sky conditions, a high of 85 degrees. Friday, slight chance for rain showers late, a high of 86. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 68.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790. And online, WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Later on, open phones, but we're going to begin the hour. Welcoming back to the program, the state representative of the 95th House District. We say good morning to Amos O'Neal. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you this morning?
Hey, we're doing well. Glad to hear you again.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
So let me ask, from where you sit right now in the legislature, what do you see as the major issues? What are you working on right now?
Well, a lot of things are centered around the voting activity. I've heard a lot about that. I've been doing doors past couple of weeks. Last time out last Friday, and we just passing out literature, general literature on stateside information about what's going on with the voting. Can I vote? Am I able to still vote? I'm going to be restricted to vote. And the answer is no, no, no. And so just getting clarifying information out, Art, obviously people have different views on this, but, as I do, August 5th, 1965, the Voting Rights Act was signed. And so you look at right now, August, when we were at the 7th, 16th, so we are 56 years ago, Dr. King and others fought, John Lewis fought for the basic right for all people to vote, right?
Yep.
And so what I'm hearing in a different, exactly, they have. And 2018 was our highest numbers in our area for a long time in the country. And so just that basic core foundational principle that we all, hold to, as we say, United States is the beacon of hope for democracy and upstanding, rights and civil rights and human rights. And here we are, we're finding ourselves, I'm finding myself talking things that occurred 56 years ago, and now we're trying to, revisit some of those same issues, obviously. 2013, Sheldon, our Attorney General, the bill, the legislation against Attorney General
Nessel?
Holden.
Oh, okay. Back
Holden.
then, yes. Back
Holden.
then, Sheldon Holden. Okay.
Sheldon Holden. Okay.
So what happened after that on June 2013? The Supreme Court ruled on that, and so what happened? There were several mechanisms of the Voting Rights Act that were sort of dismantled. And August 2013, then a couple states in our union started to implement activities that would, roll back some of those gains that folks fought for in 1965. And so that's one discussion.
Let me before we move on to another discussion, let's talk about that one a little bit, because a lot of states are trying to, I don't know if the word's restrict, but they're trying to certify the way absentee ballots are handled. If I go to the polling place, which is what I do, and if you go to the polling place, you are going to have to show your driver's license, and they are going to scan your driver's license. Otherwise, you're going to get a provisional ballot, and you're going to, at some point in time, prove who you are. Should we not have that same standard for absentee ballots?
Well, I think the dilemma is leaving it up to the individual to send a copy of their driver's license with the provisional ballot to the clerk's office. Just that whole process, I think, will prolong the just actual verification of who this person is. I think we need to look at a way that makes it easier for a person to identify themselves. I do agree, everybody needs their ID. And that's one reason why I'm working hard with some other colleagues to make sure even returning citizens, folks who are in the federal and state corrections, when they get out, and I know this firsthand because I oversaw federal halfway houses for years in Detroit, Grand Rapids, Texas, and Saginaw as well. And one of the main issues that I had with my inmates, my residents who were in those programs, was going to the Secretary of State and getting their ID. We had a list of items to take with them. Still, they still had problems. So what we're doing now, we're working with the Secretary of State to streamline a process for those returning citizens. This is just for example,
right,
to make sure they have X, Y, and Z, and then the Secretary of State realizes that these folks are returning. Therefore, these are some things that they will have based on what they require to expedite these individuals just getting not only the driver's license, but just a state ID to identify themselves.
Let me ask.
That goes. Go ahead.
Let me ask a question here, because it seems to me, with my simplistic mind, they're already in the system with the State Department of Corrections. Why can't they be given a state ID when they leave the prison? We already know who they are. They've already been identified.
Art, you hit the nail on the head, and that's what we're saying. We are working bipartisanly to make sure that occurs. And it's unfortunate that doesn't happen, but a lot of folks fall through the cracks when they get out. And folks make these bad decisions. Okay, they do their time, and let's give them a chance. And we've had some proof that a lot of folks have come out and they've gotten jobs, and the recidivism rate has been reduced, and they've been productive. In Michigan works with ex-offenders here, and that whole apparatus. We have support for those businesses that hire ex-offenders, and they give them a second chance. And many of them have done well in our system here in Saginaw County and Great Lakes Bay Region. So that's one reason why we need to make sure, at minimum, going back to the provisional ballot, you got to have an ID. You got to have an ID. But we got to make sure folks have a seamless process of casting their vote. Whether you do an absentee ballot, I go into the polls most times, and then think about the senior citizens. I have a dad who's 97 years old. And his only problem he's having is eyesight. He has glaucoma. And so, he has a hard time voting and writing. And so I have to help him. And I've signed the document that says I'm identification, all that. And so there are a lot of senior citizens out there who have that problem. So with some of the issues that have been raised with some of these legislative bills, that will really restrict and make it really difficult for a lot of senior citizens and folks with disabilities too, to cast their ballot. Now, I'm not for saying, oh, let's make sure we take off all the safeguards. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the country is democracy, whether you're R or D behind your philosophical views, right?
Yep.
Doesn't matter. We all want that ability and that right that our forefathers have fought so hard to maintain, and we are seen again as a beacon of hope around the country, and so we have to maintain that democracy and maintain it in a strong way.
All right, Amos, hang on. I've got to take a break. We'll come back. We're talking to Representative Amos O'Neal, and we will have more ahead here on the Art Lewis Show, sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, located inside The Point in Saginaw. And new to The Point is Cafe 476. This is your new coffee stop with a bird's eye view, serving espresso, coffee, tea, bubbles, lemonades, smoothies, frozen yogurt, and more. Plus, delicious baked goods made fresh and local. There are donuts, pastries, and danishes, just to name a few. And they have a delicious cherry almond chicken salad that I love to go down and have for lunch. Make sure you like them on Facebook to get updates on all the new menu items. Fly in and fly by the new Cafe 476 at The Point, where M46 and M47 meet off Gratiot and Saginaw. And if you're into smoothies, be sure and try the Art Lewis smoothie. I'm on the menu. Chocolate, banana, and pineapple. Wonderful. We'll be back with Amos O'Neal after these notes.
So long, summer. Hello, $5,000. It's the send off to summer every Saturday in August at Saguenay Eagles Landing. Each week from 5 to 9 p.m., you can win up to $750. Then at 10 p.m., we're giving away $5,000 cash. It's the best way to cruise into autumn. Send off to summer, only at Saguenay Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Watch your fun out. Visit Saguenay-EaglesLanding.com for complete rules and details.
And I have practiced law in mid-Michigan for over 3 decades. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned about estate planning, asset protection planning, avoiding nursing home costs, and how to save the family farm. Would you like to understand more about these topics? I am offering 3 free e-booklets about estate planning, farm succession planning, and Medicaid planning.
To get your free e-booklet, to download any or all of the e-booklets or call 989-790-1461 to request a copy.
My e-booklet, Understanding Medicaid, describes Medicaid, Medicare, and the difference between them. If estate planning is confusing to you, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning Basics, and you'll find that it is a helpful guide for your future planning. If you have a farming operation and want to save it for future generations, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning for Farmers.
If you want any of these free e-booklets, go to jerryrifleur.com or call 989-790-1461 to request your free copy.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower. The markets are being impacted by uncertainty over the situation in Afghanistan, by a weaker than expected report on China's economy, and an update from the New York Fed that says manufacturing slumped this month. Walmart is hiring a director currency strategy for the company. There's an ad on Walmart's website. Tesla shares are losing ground after the federal government revealed it is investigating Tesla's autopilot following collisions while parking involving emergency response vehicles. Boston-based financial firm State Street is closing its 2 Manhattan offices. It has locations in Connecticut and New Jersey, but many of State Street's New York employees have been working remotely. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
This year, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is honoring heroes with 200 mortgage-free homes, a never-forget walk, more than 500 miles through 6 states in 42 days, culminating at Ground Zero on 9/11. Tower of Light tributes, names of those lost to 9/11 illness, are being read on September 12th, and names of all lost in the War on Terror are being read on Veterans Day. $11 a month at T2T.org.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to State Representative Amos O'Neal. And Representative O'Neal, we have a caller, Delmar in Saginaw, would like to chat with you. Delmar, you're on with the representative. Good morning, Delmar.
I've got a question if he's familiar with the Crystal Mason case that's going to go to the Supreme Court here in a couple of weeks. Crystal Mason versus the state of Texas.
Amos, do you know anything about it?
No, I'm not familiar with that case.
Is it a Michigan case, Delmar?
No.
Well, okay, we're talking about Michigan
in
stuff.
Texas right now. It's in the national news.
Yeah, well,
and basically, it's prisoners that are released under a program called the Federal Surveillance Program.
These federal prisoners?
Correct. They're released from prison early. They're mostly African Americans, about 90% of them, but then they're under the federal surveillance program where they're not allowed to vote. It's been picked up by the ACLU, and it's going to be in the federal court.
All right, well, it's kind of a national thing, so we want to kind of keep things local. And it doesn't happen in Michigan. Yeah, it will. All right.
Well, it's
Thanks.
going to happen here.
All
A
right.
lot of states are picking it up. It's going to happen here in Michigan.
All right. Well, when it does, we'll talk about it. Thanks, Delmar. Appreciate it. All right. Amos, I want to talk about something else. Looking at district maps, your district is, except for a hunk out of the east side of it, if you will, your district is pretty square, and it kind of fits right into a map. There's going to be new redistricting now, and a lot of districts are going to change. Do you anticipate much of a change in your district?
Well, that's a good question. And with the whole redistricting committee, I've been just kind of looking on the peripheral, not trying to integrate myself into the conversation. Attended a couple community meetings, and folks have voiced their concern relative to, or their opinion relative to, not specifically my district, but specifically districts in general, including the 32nd, the 95th, the 96th, and just wanted them to be fair representation of the area. And so my area, obviously, as you know, is in a major part of the city, all the Saginaw, Buena Vista, Bridgeport, Spalding, Carlton, Milwaukee, and a small portion of Coxville. Now, for me, based on my background and my experience in city government, 13 years, county government 17 plus years, and then previously being involved in the community and in the nonprofit sector, working with our business community for many years. People know who I am, as I said, I think before. And for me, I'm not really majorly concerned about how they draw my lines because, again, folks know me. And I've tried to have a good track record, work collaboratively with, nonprofits, business community, faith community, our health facility groups. Actually had a meeting this morning about some folks with Ascension Health and things they're planning on doing. But so for me, I just have to, work a little harder, I guess, if they expand my base and include other areas. That just says to me, I got to work and go out and talk to people and let people know who I am. For those who don't know me, everybody don't know me, but most people do. And, listen to them. I think that's very important as being an elected official, is to listen to people and find out where we can have a common goal, common starting point. That's what I try to do, even in the legislature. I always start, okay? And we'll go from there. And so that's my attitude, Art. I don't want to get myself entwined in their process because it's for, voters, not politicians, as they say. So I'm trying to keep a neutral stance, if you will, if that makes sense.
What, we look at the census and we see places like Saginaw, Bay County, and even Midland to a little bit, lost population. Yet the funny thing was the state actually, I think, gained 2%, which surprised me. The job loss that goes with population loss is significant. How do we stem this tide?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think we still have to, just look for new opportunities. a lot of entrepreneurship came out of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
I was talking to a group this week, and folks, as hard as it was, they realized that, reliance on businesses is hard to do because businesses have such a high responsibility and overhead with small businesses as well, because that's our driving force to economic small businesses. And so folks, as a result, downturn, caused folks to kind of think outside the box, if you will. And I don't have the exact number, but I was in a group last week and they talked about the number of small businesses that have started as a result of the pandemic. And I'll have to get with Joanne and see if I can get on the update number, but that's good. And then now what we got to do is continue to support and fortify those existing small businesses, for those businesses that even are starting up. Trying to get, there's a couple open houses coming up right downtown off Washington on Federal. There was a small business that was in the SBRC building, and I was actually happened to be going to a meeting, had a meeting with John Krasinski downtown at Valerie's, and I was going back to my car on Federal, and I saw some folks I know, and they stopped me and said, "Hey, how you doing, Mr. O'Neal?" I said, "Hi." They said, hey, we're going to have a grand opening. Be a part of that, so I would love to. Long story short, they spun off from the incubator opportunities that our SBRC provides, as you know, for small businesses.
Yep.
And now they're getting up. They have a building that's going to be their business, and so that's we're in a pandemic, Art. And here you have, this is right here downtown Saginaw. I saw it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm on the agenda to go. I think it's August the 24th, 23rd or 24th. They're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony.
What's the business, if I can ask?
It says, hold on, I can tell you. Let me look on my calendar, I tell you. But it's a small business that deals with, it's a food eatery.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, 24th. Yeah, I got it here somewhere. I'm like, okay, here we go. It's August 24th from 2 to 3. It's called Put a Fork in Me. That's the name of the business.
I love it.
Put a fork in. All right. And the address is 216 Federal Avenue. Downtown on the 24th of August, 2 o'clock. I'll be there celebrating a small business.
That's fantastic.
Starting up. Yeah. Put a fork in me.
That's a great name. I love the name.
Yeah.
Let me
let's
move on to one other area I need to ask about. The eviction moratorium went away and then it's back again. There's a whole lot of money out there that's supposed to go toward rent relief for these folks that need it. Yet a lot of that money just hasn't moved. Is the state doing anything about that?
Yeah, all right. Before we took our break, late June, we appropriated, and I have the numbers, $378 million for assistance, rental assistance for the state of Michigan. Most of those, all of those dollars are with MISTA. Okay, and so the problem is, I think we haven't done a good enough job of advertising and promoting the process. That's what I've heard a lot too, in terms of when I was out in the public and then seeing the moratorium being canceled, being brought back. So we got to do a better job first of getting that information out. And the statistics show that have received that information or know about it. So that tells you a lot. And then here's the kicker, Art. And these are federal dollars now. Let's specify that. These are federal dollars.
Right.
We have $578 million right now, $78 million that's still unappropriated for the rental assistance program.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. So we're going back tomorrow. We have sessions tomorrow, and tomorrow's going to be a lot of this floor voting. We do have we have to do a committee meeting with Workforce Trade and Talent. We're just going to have some testimonies going on there. But that's a lot of money still to be dealt with, Art, and the folks need it, and that's what it's for. So We got to get that money out. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, Amos, as always, appreciate your time this morning. Anything you need to leave us with that we haven't touched on?
Well, I'll just leave you some updates here. I do, back to voter suppression, I have a town hall meeting scheduled for September the 1st at 1:30. It's going to be at UAW 699 on Bagley. And we're going to have Secretary of State Benson there. There's some other community leaders, got NAACP and Ezekiel Project and, Pastor Coleman and former Mayor Roster and others that's going to be a part of this conversation, talking about voting and, and ways to make sure you encourage folks to be voting. And so this is just a way for me to keep that message out there. We got a long way to go. We got to make sure people stay engaged. Art.
Yeah.
Up September 1st. And we just had a great one with NAACP, Terry Pruitt. Terry Pruitt's a part of this. And Carl Williams, Ruth Knapp. We had Senator Marshall Bullock on last week, along with the new Civil Rights Director, John Johnson. They were on, and John Johnson's going to come on later on with NAACP Terry Pruitt and those guys, talk about some of the activities that he's doing. But our goal is to keep the message out, and Mid-Michigan Labor Council has also agreed to support us just to educate the public. And that's all we try to do, educate the public. Once you educate the public, again, they have to make their decision. Yeah. And that's where we leave it. Okay.
All right. Well, Amos, listen, I appreciate your time this morning, as always. We'll talk to you again down the road. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye now. State Representative Amos O'Neal from the 95th District. We thank him for joining us this morning. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's going to be open phones for the remainder of the hour. Give us a call. We'll be back with more after these notes.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. You didn't make it where you are today by simply making do. Not on your farm. You work harder and smarter because numbers mean everything. You demand more from your equipment, greater throughput, leading efficiency, intuitive technology. When your bottom line is the top priority, one brand delivers the numbers you deserve. Brighter Solutions, built by Kloss. From the moment the first seed is in the ground, your days until harvest are numbered. Each day, every decision leads to your bottom line. So when it comes to harvest, rely on the only combine built to deliver the numbers you deserve. The Kloss Lexion gives you the quality, efficiency, reliability, and precision that make every minute count. Go ahead, let the numbers drive you with a Lexion Combine built by Kloss.
At CDW, we get that a cyborg assistant won't make your employees more productive from home.
Please, call me Brian. I can bet.
That's great. But at CDW, we can design a productivity solution with Lenovo devices that offer fast, reliable connectivity to help your people manage their workloads the right way.
Can I have a human hug?
No. For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo client.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you would take an action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here to give you the killer deals that you need. You can get tons of deals going on right now from Fat Matt's Barbecue, Joyce's Purple Palette, Kitchen Kings, Cafe 1-3, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, the Pine River Golf Course, Boutique Tanning and Salon, and the Bay Regional Fencing Alliance. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
WSGW is your station for the Tigers.
The 1-0 from Fulmer, swinging a ground ball and a high chop up the middle. Short will field, backhand flip. Tigers win. Great play by Short, and the Tigers sweep the Orioles in Baltimore.
Tigers baseball brought to you in part by DCECU,
Ed Raymond and Sons in downtown Chesaning,
Profiles Ace Hardware in Saginaw. All season long, it's Detroit Tigers baseball on WS. Direct from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, welcome back. The Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. By the way, tomorrow we'll be broadcasting live from the Ogama County Fair up near West Branch, so we'll tell you more about that tomorrow. To our phones, Carl is in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. I was watching the news yesterday about Afghanistan.
Depressing, isn't it?
It's heartbreaking. You know, you see the civilians that are caught in the middle of this. You know, the children, people just trying to get out of harm's way. It's just a mess. You know, I don't know what the answer is in a place like that. You know, we've been there 20 years, and you know, supposedly we were building up the Afghan army to defend itself, and we spent something like $75 billion on the Afghan army over the last 20 years, and they folded like a house of cards.
Yep.
You know, and when
well, I'm glad you brought it up because it was the first thing I was going to bring up anyway. And we'll continue the conversation. I just want to inject one thing here that they got to stop playing the blame game. You know, Biden's blaming Trump, Trump's blaming Biden. There's enough blame to go around to everybody. And 20 years is a long time. 20 years is a long time. And what did we gain with our treasure and our lives, which is even more treasure, when they can't defend themselves or they won't defend themselves? And you know, and by the way, we're not the only country to learn this lesson there. Ask Russia.
Oh, no.
You know, so we're not the only ones to learn this lesson. It took us longer to learn it than it took Russia.
An old joke. Yeah, there's an old joke, you know, Afghanistan, where empires go to die.
Yeah.
Ask the British Empire about
that.
Right.
There's history.
It's an unruly place, and you know, I think us trying to impose, you know, we're going to go over there and we're going to show them how democracy works, and that it just doesn't work.
No.
I
think I will say this. I have to, look at the current situation. I think this administration made a mistake when it announced how we were going to do it and what we were going to do and when we were going to do it, without any, other, backup at all. And what happens? We pull the troops out. Now what do? We're sending in 5,000 plus another 1,000, because now we have to figure out how to get our people out. I do think, and as I said, there's enough blame to go around everyone, because Donald Trump started this process when he negotiated with them for a May 1st withdrawal. But he sat down and negotiated. And while that was going on, we didn't see the Taliban taking over towns or everything. Now they've gotten the whole country. They are now the new government.
Yeah, but apparently one of the things they did negotiate was that the Taliban would not attack U.S. forces as they pulled out. And I don't think they have been. Yes, they've been taking over the country, but they have not been attacking them, which I think was part of that original deal.
Does that make them?
They are going to let us. Well, no, I mean, but that was part of the deal. Apparently, that has been in place.
Yeah.
That we were going to get out, and they were going to let us.
I'll tell you, we owe another group a safe exit. Those are the interpreters and the people that worked with our troops, because if they're left behind, they're dead. We've got to get them out.
Absolutely.
We owe that to them, and we need to protect them. And if we're sending troops in to do that, fine. I have no problem with that. But once it's done, we got to get out altogether. I mean, it's to that point now where nothing we can do anymore, and nothing we could do for 20 years. We thought we were making progress, but obviously it doesn't work there.
As far as the amount ahead of time, in today's world, it's very hard to do something and everybody doesn't know. That when we have British allies and other countries that are all part of a coalition, it's going to get out. That we're going down
not the way. No,
it's not a secret.
No, it's not. It's different. If you take 1,000 troops out today, you don't tell anybody. You just start withdrawing troops. And next week, maybe you take another 1,000 out. And the week after that, you take another. Eventually, you're going to have most of your troops out, and you will not have made a big public display of it.
Well,
now, would that have stopped the Taliban? Eventually, that would not have stopped the Taliban. But this has become instantaneous now. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. And the worst part of it is, there are two bad parts of this. One, and then this goes back on President Trump. Part of his negotiations, he released, I don't know how many thousands of Taliban it was from jail. And, now we have not only the Taliban that we have to worry about, but all the other groups that don't like us. And guess who's trying to get in bed with the Taliban? China, right off the bat.
Well,
so there you go.
They might regret that. They might regret that in 20 years.
Well, no, they want to be friends. They don't want to go in and defeat them. They want to be friends with them. So, all right.
Yeah, well,
hey, I got to take a break.
We'll see.
All right. Carl will talk to you. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye now. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more. It's the Art Lewis Show.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with RoofMax, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Great Lakes Bay Health Centers would like to remind you that building a defense against COVID-19 will take off. Proud to offer not only COVID testing, but also free COVID vaccines at multiple locations. Visit GreatLakesBayHealthCenters.org for comprehensive information on locations and times near you. The only way this pandemic will end is with us. So let's all do our part to stay healthy and get vaccinated. Please remember to continue following safety measures to keep yourself, your family, and our community safe. Together, we can finally end COVID-19.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance blokes fetching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The U.S. dollar is plummeting. Protect your savings against inflation with precious metals. I'm Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA or 401k with gold and silver. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 today.
Michigan Wolverines. Back. The Maize and Blue kick off the new season on September 4th against Western Michigan at 11 a.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Okay, welcome back here on the Art Lewis Show. Just on the last point on this Afghanistan, there are two names that you will be hearing a lot more of. One of them is Abdul Ghani Baradar. He is the political leader of the Taliban. And one headline says, undisputed victor of the 20-year war. The other name is Ayatollah Akhundzada. He is the Taliban's overall leader. Baradar, though, is the political chief, and he's going to be the guy running the country. So here you go. 20 years. What did we gain? Zip. Nothing. Nada. Lost a lot of money and a lot of lives, particularly the lives. One other note, not to do with that, has to do with the census. An interesting problem, and it's a problem that we could pay for. The census has showed that there are fewer people in rural America. And you're asking yourself, well, how does that affect me? Well, it's a problem for ranch and farm labor. With fewer people, the nation's farming and ranching regions are in trouble. And, you know, it really is something we have to worry about, because that food that we eat is already costing us more and is liable to cost even more down the road. These are the unintended consequences when we have things like this going on. And coupled with that is immigration, because a lot of the farm labor and ranch labor come across the southern border. Many of them, though, are not illegally here. They have green cards. And they are hard workers. They sustain what we find in the grocery stores. Yet the border becomes an issue because nothing seems to be done in improving that situation. July was the busiest month for illegal border crossings in 21 years, according to CBP data. The number of migrants detained along the Mexico border exceeded 200,000 for the first time in 21 years. And among the 212,000 plus migrants taken into U.S. custody in July, 82,966 family members, and this is a startlingly, I don't understand this, 18,962 unaccompanied teenagers and children, an all-time high. And the Biden officials earlier this year predicted people crossing the border would decline with the summer heat. Well, guess what? Hadn't happened. Gone up. And there are questions as to how many of them are crossing the border with COVID and what's happening to them. Yet, we don't hear the administration saying it's a crisis. I don't know what else you call it. I really don't. And, you know, this administration has put itself in this position, but others have too, because this immigration can, as we've said many times, has been kicked down the road time and time again by Congress, by administrations. And like him or not like him, the only one who really tried to put his foot down was Donald Trump. You may not have liked his method of building a wall or what have you, but at least he tried to do something. Yet don't come here from Cuba. Heaven forbid you should take a boat and land on our shores from Cuba. You're going to be sent right back. There is a real dichotomy in all of that, and how one group is viewed one way and another group is viewed another way. And you can't take politics out of it, folks. You may want to, but you can't. Politics is part of the game. Voting and who they may vote for in the future, if you can get them into the country, is part of the game. It's we have in the last, I don't know how many years, 30, 40 years, gradually moved to this point where we are now, where it's all about politics. Sometimes I wonder if the people we send to Washington ask the simple question, is this good for the American people as a country, rather than is it good for my party? Too many times the latter is the question. Is it good for the party? What's the party talking points? And by the way, that's both sides. Both sides have talking points. And when those talking points come out, as a journalist, you could go talk to 10 Democrats and 10 Republicans. And the 10 Democrats will all use the same words and say it the same way. And the 10 Republicans will all use the same words and say it the same way because they read their talking points. Is that really what the Founding Fathers had in mind? Now, granted, this country survived a long, long time. And probably will continue to because we're resistant. But at some point, it's got to be a breaking point. There's got to be a breaking point in how much debt we can acquire. And who owns that debt? It's just a matter of time. It has to be. The clock doesn't stop. Something's going to have to give at some point in time. All right. I have to give because the clock, that very clock, is telling me that I'm out of time. So we will take a break and be back to close out after these notes.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. Much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458, 800-481-1458, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds.
The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help with all your car care needs. Whether you're shopping for parts, accessories, or supplies, we've got you covered. Right now, get Superior Cover-All Tire Shine 2 for $16. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Keep your car looking like new. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Sort of remind you about our friends at Sanitary Mattress. Visit them at 5343 James Road in Saginaw, or on the web at sanitarymattress.com or 753-1757, a longtime sponsor. We'll be back with Focus.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kafin. Thousands of Afghans jam the airport in Kabul now that the Taliban is in power. There's word of 7 deaths there. The U.S. commander warning the Taliban not to interfere with the American evacuation. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The chaos isn't just inside the airport and on the tarmac. Outside, angry crowds gathered. A U.S. official says American troops will spend today focused on securing the airport, and additional forces will continue to flow in. Halted at one point.
I'm Stephen Portnoy. The president's national security advisor says Mr. Biden has not yet put a definitive time on an address to the nation. But Jake Sullivan tells CBS News he expects such an address would happen soon. Mr. Biden has remained at the Camp David presidential retreat since Friday and was expected to stay there until Wednesday. Aides say he's been regularly briefed there via video conference, but he's left it to his Secretary of State and other advisors to explain and defend his drawdown decision.
Now to Haiti, where cranes are in use to move huge chunks of debris in the search for any earthquake survivors. CBS's Vladimir Dutier in Port-au-Prince.
It is a state of a nation crushed under the weight of yet another natural disaster. Hospitals are overwhelmed by incoming patients as rescue workers search for survivors under mounds of concrete and debris.
And the island's now getting hit by a tropical depression. Jerry Chandler is the country's civil protection director.
We are bracing for grace, so we have to have a contingency so we can address the people that, out of fear, stay out of their houses and sleep out on the streets.
And plenty of COVID precautions in Los Angeles with schools open today. This parent says her children are ready, but will be careful.
They've been apprehensive through this whole thing as well. And they feel better knowing that people will be masked, be tested.
The government's opened an investigation into Tesla's partially automated driving system. WWJ Radio's Jeff Gilbert says it comes after a series of collisions with parked emergency vehicles.
The concern isn't the way autopilot works, it's the way it can be abused. Safety groups have complained that the name also oversells its abilities, and it's too easy for drivers to stop paying attention. Competing systems have cameras that watch drivers' eyes to make sure they remain on the road, something that Tesla doesn't do.
The investigation covers just about everything Tesla has sold in the U.S. since the start of the 14 model year. Wall Street right 28 points. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here to give you the killer deals that you need. You can get tons of deals going on right now from Fat Matt's Barbecue, Joyce's Purple Palette, Kitchen Kings, Cafe 13, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, the Pine River Golf Course, Beer Garden, and Salon, and the Bay Regional Fencing Alliance. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon, or Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hi, Tom Bodette from Motel 6, leaving the light on for Meemaw and Peepaw and all the other maws and paws visiting the close to 4 million grandbabies born last year who've only seen you on a laptop. For all the bubbies ready to finally get your arms around those little loves, Motel 6 offers clean, comfortable rooms at a great low rate. We'll even call you Giga if you want. I'm Tom Bobo Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly cloudy skies and 70 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Bay City may be selling several East Side properties to Consumers Energy as a way to help with line replacement. Here's WSGW's Rick Antonio.
City commissioners will be voting on the sale of 5 properties that have been vacant lots since the early 90s along North Water Street with the purpose of beginning nearly 3 miles line replacement. Most of those replacements are in the right-of-way. However, Consumer says some can be avoided if a regulator station is built over the proposed properties. The city obtained the properties between 1990 and 1992 for the purpose of realigning Woodside Avenue. However, work was called off after Essexville was unable to confirm their portion of the joint partnership due to budget constraints at the time. Overall, 2,200 feet of pipe on Borton Avenue and a new regulator station will allow consumers to avoid having to input an additional 18,000 feet of high-pressure lines as part of the scheduled replacement. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
The Michigan Lottery is accepting nominations for its Excellence in Education Awards. The awards recognize outstanding public school educators across the state during the school year. Parents, staff members, and others are encouraged to nominate educators. One educator will be selected each week and will receive a $1,500 cash prize plus a $500 grant to their classroom, school, or school district. One of the weekly award winners will be selected to receive the lottery's Educator of the Year and will receive a $10,000 cash prize. To nominate an educator, visit michiganlottery.com/about/excellence in education. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers. Quick quote, call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A gun rights advocacy group based in Detroit is holding its annual free firearm shooting lessons for women interested in learning protection. The lessons are scheduled August 21st and 22nd at target ranges in Taylor. Pre-registration is required. Legally Armed in Detroit founder Rick Ector says the group hopes to provide lessons to around 4,000 women. The sessions will include a firearm instructor's safety briefing, use of a firearm, ammunition, and range time. Ector says no prior firearms training or experience is required. The free lessons have been offered for a decade. Ector said 50 women received the training the first year, and more than 1,900 women participated last year. We're starting to see some rapid growth when it comes to electric vehicles. Here's more from Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilberts.
Electric vehicle registrations doubled in the first half of this year. The figures from Experian, published in Automotive News, say there were 214,000 electric vehicles registered in the first half of 2021. percent of all registrations. Tesla still accounts for the vast majority of those registrations, with the Chevy Bolt tops among the Detroit three, but the Mustang Mach-E making a very strong debut. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
The UAW's 397,000 members will vote by mail this fall on whether they want to pick their leaders in direct elections. In a posting on the website, Union Monitor Neil Borofsky says ballots will be mailed by an election vendor starting October 12th. They have to be returned by 5 p.m. on that date. They'll be counted as soon as possible, and Borofsky will announce the results. He was appointed by a federal that avoided a government takeover of the union after a wide-ranging corruption scandal. Currently, union leaders are chosen every 4 years at a convention, with delegates picked by local union offices, but the new slate of leaders is picked by the outgoing president, and seldom is there serious opposition. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It is 11:10, and I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high around 80 degrees. Winds out of the east around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy sky conditions with a low around 61. By Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, a high around 83 degrees. Wednesday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Blend of clouds and sunshine develops, a high around 85. Thursday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy sky conditions, a high of 85 degrees. Friday, slight chance for rain showers late, a high of 86. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 69.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. Today, we're going to focus on cancer, specifically lung cancer. We're going to do that with a nurse practitioner at the Carmana Center Institute at McLaren Bay Region. We say good morning to Stephanie Leslie. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning, Eric. Can you hear me okay?
I got you fine. Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
So I know lung cancer is a significant cancer in this country, probably the most significant cancer in this country. And there is a way to detect it early. So let's talk about that first. What is that way?
So McLaren Bay Region offers what's called a low-dose lung cancer screening. And what it entails is a low-dose CAT scan of the lungs. And a low-dose CAT scan is actually imaging a significant lower amount of radiation than a standard CAT scan would. Lung cancer is the leading cause of death, more than prostate, breast, and colon cancer combined. So current and former smokers are at a much higher risk of developing lung cancer. And obviously, the earlier we can detect it, the better the outcomes as far as treatment and hopefully complete remission of the disease. Lung cancer screening has actually shown to decrease the amount of cancer deaths, lung cancer deaths by 20% because it allows you to start getting treatment early.
So, I'm looking at a sheet here that says who should have lung cancer screening. And the first thing I see is that I can't because I'm 78.
Yeah, there is an age range. And so the United States Preventative Task Force actually has a lot to do with this. And currently the guidelines are that you have to be between the ages of 55 and 77. However, there has been recent movement by the United States Preventative Task Force to change that age range to 50 to 77.
That doesn't help me.
They're still working.
They're going the other way.
Yes, or the other way. With insurers to, make sure that these things are something that's going to be covered as they change those guidelines. So currently the guideline is 55 to 77, no signs or symptoms of lung cancer. or former heavy smoker who's quit within the past 15 years. So the definition of heavy smoker is somebody who has what's called a 30-pack year history. And what that calculation means is if you have smoked a pack a day for 30 years, you have a 30-plus pack year history. And you've not had a CAT scan in the last 12 months.
So let me see if I can understand what you're saying about the pack history, the pack year history. Now, even though I'm 78, so I'm not allowed to get this screening right now, but if I were, let's say, under that age, and I smoked until I was 32, now I'm 78, so it's been 46 years since I touched a cigarette, but I would have had at least a pack a day back then. Would that count, or is that too far back in the?
It's too far back. Actually, the current guidelines state that if you've quit smoking within the last 15 years.
Okay.
So it has to be within 15 years to meet the criteria for this program.
So what does this low dose scan show, and why is it low dose as opposed to a regular dose?
So the low dose, number one, it decreases the amount of radiation, which, we want to keep that amount of radiation exposure as limited as possible. But you can see what they call nodules, which would be maybe the beginnings of a mass. They can detect masses, those kind of abnormalities that are typically signs of early stage lung cancer. So the low dose is basically the minimum dose that gets us an image to learn.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We'll talk more about this. We're talking to Stephanie Leslie. She's a nurse practitioner with the Carmonas Cancer Institute at McLaren Bay Region. And we will be back with more after these notes.
I wasn't able to sleep in my own bed. Because of my wife's struggles with CPAP, I had to move out to the couch, out to the recliner, out to my son's bunk bed. That is until she started using Inspire, a sleep apnea treatment that works inside her body with just the click of a remote.
Get back to sleeping in your own bed with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. The heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. Better than that.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
and Doug. And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb.
All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, so close. We were looking for...
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Korchat's coat is very thick. He's an Akita, German Shepherd, Lab, Husky mix. Harold, the Border Collie Pit mix, has the most beautiful coat. Stuart, my rat terrier, has fur now where he never had it before. DINOVITE.com. Dinovite will give them a beautiful, lustrous coat. It will make you smile.
You get some Dinovite, how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home. News, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
So here's what we're going to do.
The Ramsey Show.
If you want to be a millionaire, you need to learn what millionaires do and do what they do. You have to think through this stuff.
The Ramsey Show. Weeknights at 10 on WSGW. On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you, and before we get back to our conversation with our guest, just want to do what I forgot to do last hour and remind you about your sleep. You know, today's workers are asked to do more for less, so when they go to bed, spend a third of your life there theoretically. You really need quality sleep, and you can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. You can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you are using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. And if you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call 753-1757. Talking to Stephanie Leslie, a nurse practitioner at Karmanos Cancer Institute at McLaren Bay Region, about low-dose CT scans for lung cancer. So I guess the big question, Stephanie, is who pays for it?
So currently, low-dose CTs for lung cancer screening is covered by Medicare. And typically, insurance plans also will cover the cost. However, we do encourage patients to check with their insurance provider to determine if that is covered by their insurance or if there will be any cost to them. It does require a physician order. So talking about the criteria for screening, it can be confusing for people. So I encourage anybody that thinks they may possibly meet the criteria to discuss it with their healthcare provider, their primary care provider, and they will discuss, the risks, benefits, and those guidelines and make sure that they meet all the criteria.
So just out of curiosity, and as I said, I'm 78, so I'm 1 year beyond the requirement. Someone in my age category or above, I would have to have symptoms before I could have a scan for my lungs?
There are different ways to go about screening, but it doesn't meet it just wouldn't fall under the category for the current United States Preventative Task Force definition of a lung cancer screening. So order CAT scans to screen if you meet the heavy smoking history and things like that. It just doesn't fall under that specific criteria once you're outside of the age range.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of good news, because there, in this day and age, after all the technological and medical advances, there are a lot of cancer survivors and caregivers out there. Are we doing anything to maybe celebrate them?
Absolutely, we are. On August, McLaren Bay Region's West Campus, which is located at 3140 West Campus Drive, just off of Midland Road, we will be having a cancer survivors parade. This is a celebration for those who have survived cancer and their caregivers. We had to be a little bit creative with COVID last year. We have in the past traditionally done activities such as cookouts and events, art events and things like that. And last year with COVID, we really wanted to be able to celebrate and their caregivers, but still maintain the social distancing and, all the things that COVID kind of imposed on us. So we developed a cancer survivors parade, and all they do is they drive through. They start by entering through a balloon arch, and they travel through various stops along the route on our West Campus. There'll be inspirational signs, messages of hope, along with several cheerleaders along the way. And they will also receive gifts along the way from the different stops.
And date and time again, so everybody knows?
August 26th from 4:30 to 5:30 on our West Campus, which again is 3140 West Campus Drive. We are just off of Midland Road to the west of Euclid Avenue.
How about other events? Anything else coming up we should know about?
We also have a American Cancer Society Fresh Start Smoking Cessation Program. It is a free program. It's 2 days, Thursday, November 11th and November 18th. This is going to be held virtually via Zoom. there is required registration, and they can register at mclaren.org/Bay Seminar. There is also a toll-free number that they can call to register, and that number is 1-877-411-2762. And once they register, they'll be sent the information to log in for the Zoom.
Well, Stephanie, thanks for spending some time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Stephanie Leslie from the Carmonas Cancer Institute at McLaren Bay. She is a nurse practitioner. We'll be back to find out what's happening in the marketplace after these notes.
And the winner is... I love to win. And one of us can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff. Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from May through August, and Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner. Loans must be approved by noon on August 31st to qualify. The Wildfire Great Loan Payoff drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. And honestly, everyone who finances a secured or signature loan through Wildfire from May 1st through August 31st, 2021 wins big with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing. Apply online or directly at your nearest Wildfire branch. The Great Loan Payoff, now through August, only at Wildfire. Wildfire Credit Union, distinctively better. Loans subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Visit wildfirecu.org/payoff for details.
In an emergency, when seconds count, you have a choice.
Ordinary.
Or extraordinary at Covenant Healthcare.
A few sort of private rooms.
Or 65 fully private rooms, including rooms designed just for seniors and children.
I think the emergency doctors are board certified.
Or 45 Covenant emergency doctors, all board certified.
Some trauma care.
Or verified level 2 trauma center for adults and kids with specialized Covenant pediatric and senior emergency care centers. Our senior center is the first accredited geriatric ER in the region.
Our patients are satisfied, I think.
Covenant ranks in the top 10% for patient satisfaction nationwide for hospital emergency departments of our size.
So maybe Covenant is a better choice.
Covenant is the best choice. For extraordinary emergency care, no one beats Covenant. Learn more at covenanthealthcare.com/ECC.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance bloke stuck and dog. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Today on Hey Culligan, soft water, cleaner environment. What do you say, Greg?
Hey, Culligan, are you saying if I have a Culligan high-efficiency water softener, I'm also helping the environment?
It sounds like you're saying it, Greg, and yes, you are, because with the Culligan high-efficiency water softener, you'll use less detergent, soap, and harsh chemicals, and that's good for the planet.
Now you're saying it.
You bet I am, Greg. Soft water and a cleaner environment is already on the way. Out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
All right, that has done it for Focus for today. Glad to have you with us. Our thanks to Stephanie Leslie from McLaren. If you think you fit into that 55 to 77 category, former smoker, what have you, talk to your doctor and get a referral. Get a low dose CT scan. Lung cancer caught in its early stages is curable. So it behooves you to do it. That'll do it for me for today. We thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we'll be at the Ogama County Fair. We'll talk to you then. Time to head over to Baird & Company for our ticker tip of the day, and that's where we find Steve Anderson. Welcome back, Steve.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back. Nice to hear you.
Are you back to a good market?
Not really. I think probably a vacation would have been a better thing if you want to talk to me that way. Right now, we've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's not horrible. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 100. It's putting it at 35,406 on volume of 282 million shares. The NASDAQ is down 167, putting it at 14,655 on volume of 328 million shares.
Your ticker tip for the day. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, there you go. We've got markets lingering at 35,000, 14,000, numbers we never dreamed possible. And that's something to definitely keep in mind as you look at, say, your 401ks. Do or change in there. One of the things people will have a tendency to do is either cut back on their allocations, on their contributions, or they will decide to move all of the money over into cash. And the one thing that you don't get when you've got it all in cash is the opportunity to have that market go up. You look at where we were 2 years ago, and it was some 19,000. 35,000 is a big change from that. And there's been down days more than once that sometimes have been big enough down days to want to make you. But always remember, if you're looking at long term, you've got another 5, 10, 20 years until you retire. Whatever move we have today is probably not going to be completely life-changing down the road. And it's important to, there's a saying, it's not timing the market, it's the amount of time in the market.
Yeah.
So you got to let the market work and do its thing. Keep your compass.
How do we get some help from you? Yeah. How do we get some help from you?
You can call us right here at Baird & Company with a telephone number 790-5724, or you can find us on the web at rwbaird, that's BAIRD.com, and look for the Saginaw branch.
All right, Steve. Glad to have you back, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you.
You bet.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye now. Steve Anderson at Baird & Company with our ticket tip of the day. Next up is Terry Henney's Farm Show coming along here on WSGW.
While you're comfortable